5 News starts with breaking news.
All right, we're going to start with breaking news. Firefighters are just now leaving the scene of a possible apartment fire at a complex in Springdale. You're looking live now. This is at the trails at the crossings. It's right next to Arvest Ballpark on Watkins Avenue, the apartment complex just north of Arvest Ballpark. Right now, we don't have any information from the Springdale Fire Department on what exactly happened or if anybody was hurt. We are reaching out to the department for more information on this. Of course, stay with us on air and, of course, online as we try to get more information. Thanks for joining us. I'm Darren Bob. We're going to get to the forecast now. Scott, can we expect nice weather to last much longer?
I think we've got at least a couple of more really nice days. There are some changes in the forecast. There always is this time of the year, right? High pressure dominating the forecast, not just today, but it controls the weather for us tomorrow as well. Winds as a result out of the south. That continues all night while you're asleep. So we don't get too cold tomorrow morning. Maybe cool enough you might want a light jacket. Upper 40s northwest Arkansas, but by lunchtime, gosh, low 70s. We continue warming up into the upper 70s, even some low 80s in northwest Arkansas tomorrow. Abundant sunshine all across the area. Winds a bit breezy at times out of the south, gusting as high as 25 miles per hour. 40s in the River Valley tomorrow morning, 70s by lunchtime, 80s on the board for the afternoon. Gosh, first day of the year, we're going to reach those 80s. There are some other days where we're going to be nice and mild, but there's also a couple of storm chances this week we'll have to track. That detail, plus what is shaping up to be a really nice weekend, all coming up here just a few minutes.
All right, Scott, thanks. City of Bentonville looking at doubling water rates. And tonight, residents heard from city leaders on why that increase is needed. Those residents also got a chance to tell the city how they feel about all this. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer shares the voices of those concerned.
Who's going to be able to afford this?
Debbie Fry has lived in Bentonville for 7 years. She learned about the rate increase just last week.
It's not my responsibility to pay for a city's mistake. Why pass the bill on to me? It's not my problem.
She was one of dozens of residents at Monday night's meeting, asking questions but also voicing concern.
And I'm appalled, like many others, that 90% of these issues were happening because of the developers who laid them down. Why should I, as a city citizen who did all the repairs when I was asked to, paid all my bills on time, paid my property taxes, have to now incur this large, immense burden?
Director of Water Utilities Mike Bender says they need the money quick to continue to fix water leaks.
A lot of the increase is driven because we do have the high loss right now. We're 50%, a little bit over that. That depends on the month.
Even though the water rates are doubling, the change will bring a 12% increase to overall utility bills.
I'm on a fixed income. To jump 100% on just water and knowing everything else is going to go up, it's really going to be hard for a retiree to live in this town.
Bender says things are also more expensive with inflation and rising wholesale water prices.
If you are kind of the average customer, you're going to see your water bill, the water portion of your bill, go up by about $25 a month if it's approved. Now, if the rates don't go up, we stop fixing leaks.
Residents say they want the city to look into other options like impact fees or raising rates, but not doubling them.
I'm questioning if I'll stay in Bentonville.
In Bentonville, covering news where you live, Lauren Spencer, 5 News.
By the way, the council plans to vote on that rate increase at tomorrow night's meeting. We'll, of course, let you know what happens tomorrow night. Also new tonight, a former Crawford County deputy has officially filed an appeal in federal court. Levi White was convicted last year for an incident that happened in 2022. He was sentenced to 63 months in federal prison, followed by a 2-year supervised release after pleading guilty to deprivation of rights under color of law. Videos captured of the incident led to national attention. Another former deputy seen in the video, Zachary King, was also sentenced to prison. No charges were filed against a third officer with the Mulberry Police Department. And in today's federal court filing, White's attorney argues that the court unfairly applied sentencing enhancements, such as using a dangerous weapon and his status as a public official. Trial date also set today for a former Bentonville teacher. Micah Whitfield is accused of sexually assaulting a student. We learned today his trial is now set for June. Whitfield, who was working as the technical director of the Air and Arts Center, was fired from that position within the Bentonville School District after his arrest. He's accused of making inappropriate advances toward a student, including sending text messages and physical contact. 3 people in Rogers now charged with capital murder for a deadly shooting over the weekend. Rogers police say it happened just after midnight on Saturday. Officers arrived on South B Street to find Andres Fonseca had been shot. He died after being rushed to the hospital. Tonight, we've learned that 3 people are charged with capital murder in this case. Jared Stiles, Amy Manduano, and Eileen Roca, all in custody tonight for the crime. According to prosecutors, all 3 suspects are minors but are being charged as adults. Stiles and Roca also being accused of lying to police. Investigators allege 32 total rounds were fired at the crime scene from 3 different guns. Lawmakers from both the Arkansas House and Senate meeting today to talk about a new education reform bill that's being endorsed by the governor. The 123-page bill is called the Arkansas Access Act. Rebecca Brown has more now from the Capitol on today's hearing and what educators, students, and community members had to say about this bill.
It is us essentially saying the general bill encompasses let's put students first.
Arkansas lawmakers are introducing a 123-page omnibus bill known as the Arkansas Access Act, aimed at amending various education-related laws across the state. This follows the Transformative Learns Act in 2023. On Monday, the Joint Education Committee met to discuss the 2 pieces of legislation, led by Republican Senator Jonathan Dismang and Representative Matthew Shepard. The Arkansas Access Act seeks to overhaul the state's higher education system and align it with K-12 reforms. Key priorities include accelerating student pathways to college and careers, streamlining admissions, expanding scholarships, and standardizing course credits.
So we put together a full packet with summaries of all the bills and charts to help superintendents and school districts know exactly what's done for them.
Some lawmakers claim they love the purpose of the bill, but voice concerns with a few issues like removal of members of the School Board Leadership Council and certain stakeholders. One issue that drew out a crowd of students was a section of the bill to prevent institutions from granting excused absences for protests and other disruptive behavior.
Past generations have worked to ensure that we have the right to express ourselves, and we will not be silenced today.
But after hearing several testimonies, Senator Dismay went and amended that part of the bill. At the Capitol, Rebecca Brown, 5 News.
With fighter jets returning to the skies above Fort Smith, the 188th announcing today its Security Forces Squadron will be working with the Fort Smith Police Department to monitor airspace. They'll be watching for drones and restricted airspace over Fort Smith. 188th right now uses advanced technology to detect, identify, and track drones flying in these areas. Under this new agreement, they'll now alert police about unauthorized drones, and officers will then step in to help enforce those restrictions. U.S. Marshals are set to auction off 735 acres of historic land in Mountainburg on Wednesday. The bidding will start at $1.4 million. Now, the land predates World War II and was home to nearly 700 people who lived in 2 former towns called Schauberg and Armada. Property includes 4,300 square foot home built in the 1870s that was originally the schoolhouse there. Despite the area's rich history, the land will go up for auction this week. Lacey Hendricks, the current property owner, says her family owned the land for the last 50 years.
There are generations of stories, from the railroad to the railroad workers who built it, to the town, the timber, the Native Americans. There's significant history, and the fact that my family has held it for 50 years, it really has kept all of those pieces in place.
Hendricks and her family are hopeful the new buyer will preserve the land and create an archive for visitors to learn about the history. City of Fayetteville is now managing the parking lot on Lafayette Street by the Central United Methodist Church. It means you'll have to pay $1 per hour or register your car for $50 a month to park there. Fees will be charged Monday through Saturday. Parking deck will still be reserved for church patrons at no cost on Sundays. Tonight, our Verified team looking into new research that shows team sports do more than build muscles. They could be building better brains. Megan Bragg shows us how passing, shooting, and teamwork could actually boost brain power for children.
The question, could playing a team sport make your child smarter? Let's verify. Our sources, the Cleveland Clinic, sports medicine specialist Dr. David Geyer, sports psychologist Dr. John Brunel with Novant Health, and a recent study from the Netherlands. The study found children who play team sports seem to have better executive function, which includes things like memory, focus, ability to adapt, and emotional control.
The benefits of regular cardiovascular exercise and strength and conditioning is good for blood flow to the brain and just good for overall functioning. We've seen that in terms of academic success and job performance.
When it comes to kids playing sports, they have to consider their teammates, remember plays, take instruction, and make quick decisions.
You add, a complex task with trying to coordinate, your needs and goals with either your teammates or following the rules of the game itself. Just adds a little more complexity. So probably more advanced learning can take place rather than just, going for a run on your own.
Dr. Brunel says while the pressure of winning can cause stress, it also helps kids learn how to deal with stress.
The reason why I enjoy sports is it challenges the nervous system, that you're going to be upregulated, which makes a complex task more high stress. And that's great for kids. That's good stress, to be able to handle stress, realize stress is good for you. And the stress in and of itself is really the path and not the actual outcomes.
If you're thinking about having your kids join team sports, both doctors recommend this to families.
I'm generally a very, very big fan of sports, and I feel like it's very important, especially if you can get them interested in a team sport. But I would caution that it needs to be something a child likes to do, him or herself. So let them experiment with a different sport.
The ultimate lesson is I've really challenged kids to do hard things. And there's such inherent value of taking those risks, recognizing that failure is not only a possibility, there's high probability, and that's why we do it.
So we can verify that yes, playing a team sport could make your child smarter. With your Verify, I'm Megan Brown.